Room 17B was quieter than usual. That alone was enough to make the attending officials uncomfortable. Zinthari Admiral Relvan, carapace polished to an uncharacteristic shine, tapped two of her fingers in rhythmic irritation against the hard glass surface of the review table. The chamber was sealed, the lights slightly dimmed, and the data node pulsed with the glow of an active case file. "Let the record show," Relvan said without preamble. "This is the formal review of Incident 113 Beta, designation, unscheduled command execution, Sector 14V, playback and analysis requested by the Central Ethics and Oversight Committee. Access level, seared retina." A smaller figure to her left, a blue-chinned Yillian analyst, barely out of hibernation, shuffled nervously with a datapad too large for her three-jointed fingers. "Ma'am," the analyst said, voice thin, "the footage is unusual." Relvan gave the kind of slow blink only the deeply exhausted or the criminally undercaffeinated could deliver. "That would be consistent with the written report. Analyst Tyrrell, please begin." The holoprojector activated with a low hum. A wide-angle security feed from the GC Forward Operations Center on Midway Bastion 14V filled the center of the room. Time-stamped footage, 1733 local station time. The entry hatch hissed open. Into frame walked a human male, slightly disheveled, red in the face, cradling a delivery bag marked Ration Rush, hot in 30 parsecs or less, across his chest. The bag was steaming. "That's him?" asked Admiral Krelix, shifting in his seat. His tone was acidic. "Civilian designation Milo Griggs," Tyrrell said. "Employment status, Junior Quartermaster, Planetary Food Services, Human Division 112 Kappa." "Junior Quartermaster," Krelix repeated. He was delivering sandwiches. "Jalapeno krill melts, according to the intake manifest." On screen, Milo fumbled with a badge, looked around, then paused at a security terminal. He held out a datapad, likely his delivery log, and tapped it on the scanner. The screen glitched. "Ah," Tyrrell said delicately, "this is where the misclassification occurred." The holofeed highlighted a blinking UI error. The station's security AI interpreted the delivery manifest barcode as a fleet personnel deployment form. Due to overlapping syntax in the outdated QR encoding format, the name, M. Griggs, was parsed as Lieutenant Commander M. Griggs. Tactical Logistics Oversight. A fleet delegate temporarily embedded. A mechanical chirp indicated successful identification. Milo looked baffled as a security bot saluted and opened the inner blast doors for him. "This can't be real," muttered a committee member. "Was he armed?" another asked. "Only with mustard packets," said Tyrrell. The feed continued. Milo was waved through several security checkpoints, looking increasingly distressed but too confused to argue. By 1741, he had wandered into the Sector 14V Tactical Planning Annex, a classified strategic chamber then hosting an emergency operations review following an Eshar scouting raid. 3 GC officers in combat armor were gathered around a central holomap. The command AI blinked at full brightness, awaiting input. A tense debate was underway about pulling forces from outer orbit to reinforce a retreating destroyer wing. Milo tried to explain himself. He waved the bag. No one paid attention. One officer mistook his food pouch for a classified logistics packet and handed him a datapad in return. "Based on audio," said Tyrrell, he used several phrases common among mid-rank fleet analysts: "not authorized, wrong room," and "need confirmation," which, unfortunately, are often interpreted by subordinate AI systems as signs of protocol initiation. They resumed playback. Milo hesitated. The map glowed red. The AI blinked, waiting. "Okay," Milo muttered. "Maybe point the blue laser ships at the glowy part of the map, like where they're clustering?" The room was silent as the command AI logged the statement. "GC fleet assets repositioned." Officers blinked. No one challenged the order. After all, it came from someone with the correct clearance, currently holding 2 datapads, and wearing an expression of deep concentration. "Orders confirmed," the AI said. A second officer turned to Milo. "What secondary support package would you like deployed, Commander Griggs?" Milo blinked. Something fast and annoying? Like swarms?" "Deploying drone frigate wing." Relvan didn't speak. Her mandibles clicked once tightly. The feed switched to external visuals. GC fleet assets, 3 laser barges, a defensive cruiser, and 2 outmoded patrol skiffs, executed a perfect realignment. The Eshar flanking formation was caught mid-transition. One of their corvettes took a plasma rail to the hull and banked into its own jamming field. Comms traffic spiked, then collapsed. The drones hit their scouts within 90 seconds. The entire skirmish ended within 14 minutes. Eshar vessels retreated in disarray. The holofeed ended. No one moved. Tyrrell cleared her throat. "There was no Lieutenant Commander M. Griggs," she said quietly. "He was there to deliver sandwiches." Admiral Krellick sat back slowly. "We assigned command to a sandwich courier, and he won." A rustle of paper, actual paper, was heard as someone at the far end of the table collapsed a printed report into their lap and muttered something in an untranslatable dialect. Relevan exhaled. "Flag is personnel record," she said. "We'll need to sanitize the debrief before anyone else reads it." Analyst Tyrrell's voice cut gently through the static. "Committee, we now move to Phase 2 of Incident 113 Beta. This includes the post-action debrief of the civilian involved, as well as follow-up responses from relevant command units and administrative protocols." Admiral Relvan gestured without looking. "Proceed." The recording opened on a small utilitarian debrief room. Fluorescent lighting. 2 GC personnel sat opposite the same human seen in the tactical footage. Milo Griggs, now without his delivery bag but still wearing the faint grease stains on his collar. He was sipping a hydration pouch and looking extremely uncomfortable. The GC officer began with a standard inquiry. "Please state your name, species, and station designation." Milo blinked. Yeah, sure." Milo. "Griggs, human. Planetary Food Services, EarthGov sub-branch, Unit 112 Kappa, I think. Sandwich Division?" One of the interviewers paused. "You're not military?" "No. I mean, I do logistics, heat management, rewrap protocols, mostly for sandwiches, sometimes soups. And yet you gave strategic fleet orders." "I didn't mean to!" Milo raised both hands as if fending off a slow-moving hoverbike. "I thought it was like a VR sim or something. Training stuff. You know how those fleet officers are, always testing new people? I figured if I played along, I'd get out faster." "You believed you were being evaluated?" "I mean, kind of. It was either that or, military comedy hazing. Honestly, I thought someone had hacked my delivery route. I've seen prank clips like that online." There was a pause. Milo took another sip and added, "Also, I've played Fleet Sim 6. Twice. The original. Not the expansion with diplomacy. I'm bad at that part." One of the interviewers leaned forward. "Can you explain your tactical intention when you ordered drone swarm deployment and mid-orbit flanking?" Milo scratched the back of his neck. "Honestly, I just didn't want to get yelled at. Or die. Or, drop the drinks. Those krill melts leak through the bags, and the cleaning fee comes out of your pay." Playback froze. Tyrrell turned back to the committee. End civilian debrief excerpt. Statement classification, level 2 non-strategic. Cross-referenced with autonomous order logs for clarity. Another screen lit up. This time it showed the command AI's logic cascade during the battle. Data nodes blinked rapidly across the display. The AI interpreted Mr. Griggs's phrasing as a high-priority adaptive command string, Tyrrell explained. The error stemmed from the overlapping syntax of delivery routing matrices and fleet maneuver subroutines. The command tree labeled his speech pattern as a form of intuitive interface shorthand used by untrained embedded advisors. Krellick scoffed. "We hard-coded fleet command AI to obey anyone who sounds like they've read a training manual?" "To avoid delays during emergencies," Tyrrell replied. "That seems optimistic." Tyrrell did not disagree. The feed continued. The committee's expressions ranged from blank to visibly concerned. One even reached up to massage his own sensory stock. Relevan finally spoke. "Let the record show that this committee recognizes both the failure of procedural oversight and the creative resolution that followed. Let us move to administrative recommendations." Velis, a bone-thin Krask logistics director, hissed with irritation. "Purge all food delivery QR strings from command interfaces. Immediately. I want a firewall between lunch orders and orbital strike commands." Halvrin, who had thus far remained quiet, finally leaned forward. This is precisely why humans must never be near autonomous military systems. They radiate chaos. Relevant tapped a claw on the desk. They radiate improvisation. And we are not here to assign cultural blame. We're here to stop it from happening again. She took a breath. Draft the following for internal update. New policy: civilian personnel are not to be left unattended in active tactical zones unless they are on fire. And even then, only if fire suppression is engaged. There was a quiet moment of acknowledgement. The session ended. The holoscreen faded. Data nodes powered down. One exhausted committee member, eyes half-lidded, leaned back in his chair and mumbled, "At least the coffee arrived on time."